Hello and welcome to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton and we come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, there's so many things going on in the world today. It's just hard to keep up with all of it. And I don't know about you, but it's hard for me to even process it some days. Some days I just want to run out of the room screaming, saying, stop it. I don't want to hear anymore. And then other days it's like, yeah, I think we're making progress. I think things are going better. And so that is how life goes. And most of you know that this show is brought to you by an organization called Million Kids. We're not 1 million kids. We're not a million kids. We're just simply millionkids.org. And I encourage you to go to millionkids.org and sign up for our insider alerts. If you want to learn all about things like human trafficking, sextortion, social media exploitation, and child sexual abuse materials, formerly called child pornography, you say, why would I want to know that? Because if you're a parent or you're a grandparent, then you need to know how all this works. And you need to be able to educate your kids and help them be leaders in combating this. It's my experience that most kids don't want to be violated, and I have trained over 500,000 of those folks myself, and adults and kids. And what I have learned is they are looking to you, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, to understand this and equip them and prepare them to keep our kids safe from predators. And that is the work of Million Kids. So I ask you to go on to millionkids.org, sign up, and hit that insider alert. I do want to caution you that it is millionkids.org and not .com, because .com is one of those rock bands, and you're not going to be impressed, I guarantee you. People email me and go, Opal, are you part of a rock band? No, you're on .com. We want you on .org. Well, we have a guest for our show today, and I am just very, very excited with this. Someone that I have come to know mainly by working back and forth. And his name is Jeremy. Jeremy, you want to introduce yourself here?
Hi, thank you so much, Opal, for having me today. I am so excited to be here with you. And I'll tell you what, millionkids.org is an amazing website. And the insider emails I have found to be priceless. Just working in this industry and fighting alongside you. Amazing. So
I really appreciate that, Jeremy. I do. This is Jeremy Kraus, is that right?
Yes, Jeremy Kraus.
And he's the co-founder and CEO of Thrive World and Thrive Rescue Home. We're going to talk about what all that means. But I really appreciate your comments about that. We were forced into taking our training in-house. And it was a huge decision to do that because up until now, we had always used social media. But we were combating, at the time, Proposition 20. We were trying to get people to vote for it because in California, child sex crimes are not considered a violent crime. And I think they ought to be. It's just simply mind-boggling that it couldn't be. But so I was trying to get everybody to vote yes, because it was one of those backwards bills. You had to vote yes to get a no. And apparently the folks over at Facebook didn't appreciate that, and they took me off the Facebook. And I lost thousands and thousands of followers. They're coming back now. We're up to, I don't know, 8,000 or something like that, and missing more. But so I decided to do these insider alerts to take our training in-house, that I can, if you go in and sign up, you will receive these insider alerts regularly. And for moms and dads, it's all about the latest apps that are out there that you want to watch out for, how different apps work differently, also different cases and like that. But we're also going to use it to educate people, and that is your business that you're doing in the thriverescue.org. So, Jeremy, before we get started here, let me just announce to the public, and then we'll get deep into this. You are starting and making available to the public a very sophisticated training program on these subjects. And if I got this right, it is August 27th. Is that correct? August 27th.
Yes.
Starting on Friday night, going Saturday and Sunday. There is a charge for it. We'll get into that. But you are putting a very in-depth training, all-day training on some very in-depth subjects for people who want to know more about that on August 27th.
Absolutely. We start Friday, August 27th, 28th, and then 29th. We end in the evening on Sunday evening. And this is the first time it's in America. This is the first time we brought it here. It was a 5-week course.
Wow.
In Thailand. So we would have students from all over come for 5 weeks. We would do college class type of classes, but then we'd also have hands-on training where we would do activities with our children. We would do activities in the slums. We do activities in the red light district. And I just thought, gosh, we've got to get it to a point where more people can come, because a lot of people that wanted to come couldn't make it for 5 weeks. They couldn't take off work for 5 weeks.
No kidding.
So this is the first time. Very excited about this, and very excited to have you speaking actually on Friday night. So
you got most of the subjects covered. I like, what am I going to talk on here? This is good. Hey, give us, we've just got 3 or 4 minutes yet in this segment. Give us a little background about yourself.
Sure, absolutely. So, I've been in working with children and families for years, for probably 25 years now. And about 15 years ago, I found out about human trafficking. I didn't even know it was a thing. And I happened to be in Thailand at a pastor's conference, and I was a keynote speaker there, and I didn't know where I was in Thailand. But I was talking to these different Thai pastors and telling them I wanted to do something in the city, and they would just look at me with disgust in their face, and they would say, "Why would you ever want to do anything here? This is the Sodom and Gomorrah of Thailand. Go up north. That's where all the other people go. Go up north and do something up there." And so, long story short, I came back to America after that trip. I Googled the city that I was in and found out that it was one of the capitals of the world for sex trafficking.
What city was that?
It was Pattaya.
Pattaya.
Or Pattaya, however you want to pronounce it. And so I actually had to look up what human trafficking was back then, because there wasn't all this awareness out there.
That's right.
And so when I found out what that was, I kept on Googling, found out that on any given night, there were 20 to 30,000 prostitutes in this city.
Oh, yeah.
Then I found out that it was one of the capitals of the world for child sex trafficking.
Yes.
And when I found that out, I thought, okay, the buck stops here. We've got to do something. So immediately began to look for an organization that took care of kids there. Couldn't find one. When I couldn't find one, we started Thrive Rescue, sold everything we had, moved over to Thailand, lived there for about 9.5 years. And 3 years ago, we got to the point where I needed to be back here full time. And so now we're looking at opening homes in India and South America. The goal is to have homes in every country. And rescue as many kids as we can.
You know, that's kind of where I started too. My background, I'd retired in international marketing and had 3 million frequent flyer miles. And then I joined a church that had a mission in Cambodia next to Thailand. And so at the time I'd become a glass artist. I still am sometimes, but I don't have the time anymore. But anyway, I started selling all my artwork and went to Cambodia. And I did that over 3 years with RAFA International.
Great organization.
They are wonderful. I served on their board for a long time and did get up to Thailand, but not the town that you're talking about. But you're right. When you reach a point, and in my case, I came back in 2010 and met the sheriff deputy that started a local human trafficking task force. And I'm the same path as you. We've kind of talked about that. Nobody believed me. You know, what kind of crazy radical extremist are you? And in some days, I still think that. You know, I try to be fact-based, based on reality, but it reaches a point where you began to realize this is very real in America.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it looks quite a bit different, although I'm going to tell you if SB 357 passes, it's not going to look all that different. And we'll talk about that a little bit as we go through. But it is right here, and it often happens. In Thailand, it often happens because of poverty and the lack of family structure and the lack of maybe opportunity. But here it starts more because you get lured in. You fall in love on the internet.
I people ask me all the time, do you have anything here in America? And I'm like, well, we're starting to go in that direction. However, it's completely different.
Yes.
In America, you have older kids, whereas in Thailand, we're dealing with 8-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. So
very young. It's just sad when you see that over there.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Opal Singleton. Our guest today is Jeremy Kraus with the Thrive organization. We are coming up against that break, so stay with us, and we're going to be right back.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the darknet will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Hey, there are many good restaurants in the Inland Empire, but really great restaurants are hard to find. Let me tell you about the Toasted Barrel in Corona. It's a trendy, upscale steakhouse with great pasta and seafood. It's a fantastic choice for birthdays and anniversaries or just that special night out with your loved one and friends. Inland Empire magazine has awarded them Best Restaurant and Brunch for the past 3 years. The owners, Ed and Shirley, are friendly and attentive to your needs. If you're a prime rib connoisseur, this place is for you. Go ahead and try it out. The Toasted Barrel, located at 1300 El Sobrante Road in Corona. Or Google them at Toasted Barrel to make reservations. I guarantee you're going to love it. Be sure and tell Ed and Shirley that Opal sent you. It will be a night you'll never forget.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sellers and buyers recognize that these low interest rates will not last. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton. I'm the host of your show. And we have a guest today, Jeremy Kraus. He is the co-founder and CEO of Thrive World and Thrive Rescue Home. Now, Jeremy and I have a lot in common in that we both started overseas, actually Southeast Asia, and we are both here in the U.S. I've been working here about 10 years. He's kind of developing a whole new program, and I admire what he's doing because he's putting together a comprehensive training program for the public. It isn't actually free. You will have to pay to go, but it starts on August 27th and goes through that weekend. And so I wanted to have Jeremy on to talk about this program that he's developed and what you might learn from it, what it covers, and like that. But before we get started, I want to ask you first, Jeremy, who do you think are the most at risk here in the U.S.?
I think they're getting younger and younger here in the U.S.
Yes.
But I believe it's really the middle school and freshman, high school, sophomore, that kind of age group, the teenage years,
Right.
Older teenagers, and they're huge at risk, just because of part of it. I believe is social media. You've got all
you
these.
got that.
It's so huge right now, and all the different apps that you can use to meet people. And one of the things we did in Thailand was we went into schools and we've reached over 5, maybe closer to 7,000 children and staff in public schools there, teaching them about internet safety, because it's so huge. And here it's almost like we need to come back here and do the same thing now.
One of the things that you may or may not know, that I wrote a book called Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. And the idea about that is now the entire world this year, 2021, will be connected by internet. I know out of Cambodia, even last year, almost 60% of people there had cell phones, and it will change everything, whether it's overseas or our kids here, because our kids will no longer have 20 or 30 people they know and they friend and they unfriend. That if you're on TikTok, you're going to have 1 million, 2 million, 5 million people who can text back to you.
Absolutely.
And so your program that you're talking about is so important, because in the past, here in the U.S., it was foster kids, homeless, runaway, and pregnant kids. Now it's just, are you available and are you vulnerable?
Absolutely.
And it's that simple.
Absolutely. I was actually been on TikTok lately, and
I look at the dogs and cats on TikTok.
And just scrolling through, once you have a certain amount of followers, you can go live.
Right.
And just scrolling through, every once in a while, I will see some Asian girls. Don't know what age they are, and they're live, and they're just sitting there. And I'll scroll sideways to see who they are and what their account is, and there's no information there. And then you look down, they have one post, and it's like it has a circle around a website that says "Go here," and I'm like, this is the type of stuff that we're getting into now. And, I'll keep on scrolling, and maybe I'll get on later on that day and scroll again, and they're still on.
Yeah. Yeah. The other one that I learned about that really was interesting is TikTok has a pornographic version of TikTok called TikTok Thought, THOT. So parents, if your kids are on Thought, THOT, I'm not misspelling it, that's how it's spelled, THOT, you need to get them off. I looked at it. Now, you keep in mind, I'm a person that works with sex crimes. So, I'm not a wuss, okay? Nobody, not even my dog, ought to be, I don't have a dog. Anyway, nobody ought to be on TikTok Thought, in my opinion. But you're absolutely right in that it's being used for a lot of other things other than just making a cute animal video.
Yeah, absolutely. And why travel halfway around the world when you can just get what you want on TikTok or on the other one that you were talking about, and it's getting, the reach is wider, and it's a little scary.
Yeah, I often tell parents, I'll ask a parent, they'll say, how old should my child be before they get a phone? And I said, well, have you had the sex talk? And they'll go, well, I don't want to traumatize them. I'm like, if they're too young for a sex talk, they're too young for a phone.
Absolutely.
I get kind of crusty sometimes. I've worked in the business so long, but I sometimes say, if you're putting your 7-year-old on a cell phone, take them down to the strip club and leave them off for 10 minutes and see how they hold up, because that's who they're going to be talking to.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
the problem is they get the apps, but they don't know what adult sex is, and you don't want to traumatize them, but they're going to learn real quick. Well, so back to your school that you put together starting August 27th. What are some of the subjects that you're going to cover?
So Thrive Justice School, we really try to touch each aspect of human trafficking. So as far as we start off with prevention, rescue, restoration, release, and response, the 5 major areas. And we have professionals in each area come in. For instance, you're coming in. You've been doing this for a while. You know your stuff.
I was just a child.
Well, I know. It's like you're turning 25 next week,
right.
and no, but we have the FBI come in. We have a therapist coming in. All teach. We have people like yourself with 1 Million Kids organization coming in and teaching because we want people that have experience, not people that have knowledge. We want people that have hands-on experience and knowledge in fighting human trafficking. And so we talk about each subject, we go into it, and afterwards we have opportunities for people that have gone through Thrive Justice School to have hands-on experience as well. In Thailand, I think we'll be going to India next year as well.
Wow.
And in different areas that we're opening homes at.
So they can sign up for a mission afterwards.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. So,
wow, that's impressive.
So we do that because we really want, we don't just want to educate people. We want to educate them, raise awareness, but we also want to give them an opportunity to serve and to get involved. And the end goal really is, once you've gone through this, is we have a Facebook group and all that stuff, but we want to notify people that maybe want to get into this to help fight against this. Hey, millionkids.org, they're looking for volunteer positions, or they're hiring. Hey, here's a Justice School graduate. And so
we're not hiring, but okay.
Right.
We don't have any money. Thank God for Social Security. I'm a lousy fundraiser.
There you go. So anyways, that is one of the goals as well, is to raise up people that are going to fight and for the kids.
Well, that was one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because I don't know of another kind of school or education program that is going to be this in depth. There are some others where you can work with local victims and that kind of thing, but this, you mentioned you're going to have the FBI agent come in. Who are some of your instructors of this?
So you, of course, are going to be speaking on the first night. Very excited about that. In fact, a lot of people are. And I don't have to introduce you. You're the people that are listening, they know about you. They listen to you every week. So, but we have, our friend Joe from the FBI has been working 25 years, crimes against children. We're stationed in Thailand. He's been teaching for 6 or 7 years with us. We have, my mind just went blank here. Anyways, we've got a lot of people. We've got Miss USA coming in, Miss Woman USA. She has an incredible story. She's going to be speaking on Sunday night. We have a man by the name of Carl LaGreco. He is one of the top coaches, men's coaches in America. And he's going to be coming in and talking about not only prevention, but restoration and how the mind works, why is this a problem and how do we stop it?
Right.
And
so you're addressing the demand side as well as the trafficking side.
Absolutely. We also have Jennifer. She is a psychologist, a therapist. She's going to be coming in and talking about restoration as well. Good. So we've got a wide range. We've got Dr. Rob Covell.
I love Rob.
He's amazing, right?
Rob and his wife. Let me get that straight.
They're both amazing.
He has a beautiful wife.
He does, and they're amazing people. So he's going to be speaking and bringing the biblical side into it. What's God's judgment versus the world's judgment, and how do we work through that? And so a lot of interesting, very qualified educators.
It looked like you were also going to address some issues related to pornography.
Absolutely. We will talk about pornography, how it poisons your mind, how it's addicting, and how it plays into human trafficking.
We're coming up against that break here. I'd like to kind of further explore that with you, just on some theories that I have having to do with online sex and pornography. So this is Opal Singleton, and we are up against that break. Stay with us. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited, Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced, The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.exploited, millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590, The Answer. Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This show is brought to you by Million Kids, MILLION. millionkids.org. We're a local organization. We started back in 2008. We're headquartered out of Riverside. We serve as the training and outreach coordinator for the Riverside County Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force. The Inland Empire is extremely blessed, very, very blessed to have very strong law enforcement, both in Riverside and San Bernardino County. In my case, I happen to report to the Riverside Sheriff Department, and I was so proud of them that right smack dab in the middle of COVID, when everybody else is defunding police and cutting back their budgets, that this Sheriff Department doubled the size of this task force. And it was done in conjunction with the Riverside County District Attorney, Mike Hestron's office, and also to the credit of Riverside County Board of Supervisors. And, I'm just so proud. We have 2 task forces in this county. I get to be the training and coordinator for them, and what a blessing it is for me. I've been doing it 10 years now. But, these are men and women, 13 of them actually, because we have a lot of trafficking in the Inland Empire. That's one reason I wanted to have Jeremy on, because Jeremy is putting together a very sophisticated weekend training course that starts on Friday night. That's the night I'm going to be speaking. I'm probably going to really be addressing a lot of what's happening in foreign national trafficking locally. Lots of it is changing. We're seeing large-scale Asian rings, and I don't mean that to target any particular ethnicity. All ethnicities are trafficked in our community, but these are very large-scale rings taking place here locally. And on top of it, you're starting to see several of the large-scale unaccompanied minors rings where the kids get up here, they think they're going to have the life, and instead of that, they're put into some commercial business like a massage parlor and are being trafficked. And all that money's going back from the Inland Empire right back to the Mexican cartels in that case. So I'll be talking about that. But since I have Jeremy here, one of the things I wanted to address as we were beginning the discussion of pornography is one of my deep concerns, and I have tens of thousands of hours of research on these subjects, is online sex, interactive pornography, webcam sex, whatever you want to call it. What we're seeing, and this is where I was kind of going with our conversation on TikTok, is you get kids and they make a video and it's a bit risque, and they shoot that off thinking they're going to be famous. They're going to be in, amateur pornography. And they will be, but it won't be like they think. And so our kids are getting sucked in by voluntarily sending these videos, as well as getting a lot of people online, both men and women, that think it'd be interesting to be an amateur pornographer. And I'm going to turn this over to you in a minute, but I just want to tell the public, there is a famous case working its way through the courts right now regarding Pornhub. They were, until January, the largest porn site in the world. And I would look at their data. They averaged something like 82,000 downloads a minute, 82,000 a minute. And they had this big category of amateur pornography. Well, it started out that a lot of people started to sue them because they were promised their photos wouldn't go everywhere. And the suits reached over $400 million, the legal action. And so they began to take them down as MasterCharge Visa came along and said, we're not going to allow you to charge that. They took down almost 10 million videos. Many of them were our teenagers that they were advertising online to make $40,000 a week selling their amateur pornography. And for them to have to take down almost 10 million videos, and most of them were kids, I say to myself, the future of sex trafficking is going to start with our kids and housewives and men sending in naked videos or illicit videos thinking they're going to be famous. And the next thing you know, they're going to end up in forced prostitution.
Absolutely. OnlyFans has popped up huge now. And in fact, I was out the other day and I met this young lady, and she was in her 20s, and we started talking, and I told her what I did, and she said, "Oh wow," she said, "I'm gonna go like you on Instagram," and she said, "Oh wait, I can't do that," and I said, "Well, why not?" And she goes, "Well, maybe your wife won't like it," and I just kind of thought that was strange, and I said, "Well, why? My wife won't care." And she said, "Well, I do porn." And I said,
yeah.
I said, "Oh, okay." And I
You're
said,
right. Your wife's right.
Yeah. I said, "Well, you're not liking my personal, Instagram. You're liking, my organizations." And she said, "I've been doing OnlyFans and it's really profitable." And I said, "Oh, okay." And so anyways, we didn't have a long enough time to talk more about how she got sucked into it, but that is so huge right now. And kids are getting on, like you said, kids.
Yep.
I have an 11-year-old. We just rescued an 8-year-old in Thailand.
Uh-huh.
I have homes full of kids that are 13 and under.
Yes.
And now it's happening in the US.
Yeah.
And it's our teenagers. And the thing with teenagers is their mind hasn't fully developed.
Yes.
They're still
That's right.
learning to process information. They're still learning how to be a human being.
Right.
And you've got grown-ups who are prostituting them over the internet. Yeah. And now it's, without any coaxing, like I have an 18-year-old daughter, and she'll take a picture and she'll automatically take a picture of her looking a certain way so her behind's showing. Uh-huh. And the first time I saw that, I asked her, I said, what are you trying to show? This is my stepdaughter, but she's my daughter. I love her. Yeah. And it's just very interesting that she doesn't know anything about prostituting or anything like that, but yet the picture she's taking, she's trying to be popular. She's trying to do the cool thing, and it's headed in that direction.
Yeah. I am very concerned about online webcam sex because kids do not understand where this is headed. Right. And there's so much of it out there that it's so competitive. I mean, the minute you start doing things like TikTok, and TikTok, I always say an app isn't good or bad. It's like a car. You can drive it off and go to university and get a degree, or you can go to a strip club and get yourself in trouble. It is not the car. It is how you are taught to be responsible with that car or not. And my vision here is so many parents are, first of all, the kid knows more about it than they do, and it ends with, you be careful on that thing now. Yeah. And there's a veil of denial where parents don't want to get involved.
I agree wholeheartedly. I with our kids at home, we have dinner every night together, most nights I should say, and I bring up stuff all the time that's really awkward, but I do it because we need to be able to communicate with our kids properly. And so I remember when the song WAP came out and so I knew my daughter had been listened to it because I heard her singing it. So we're sitting at the dinner table with her mother, and we're all sitting there, and I said, "Babe, has our daughter told you about the new song WAP?" And my wife is from another country. So she says, "WAP?" I said, "Yeah, WAP. Tell her what it stands for." And my daughters turned red. They couldn't believe it. And so I told her at dinner, I said, "This is what it stands for," in front of my daughters. But it opened up, even though it was awkward, it opened up the dialogue to discuss what's going on and the culture and talk about sex.
Yeah.
The parents don't do it. The other kids are in schools.
Yeah.
And the internet is.
But the truth is that you and I are probably more informed because we do the research and we're involved in this. And that's the value of your school, is that you can really get into it and see all that's happening on there. One of the things I think is so important is for us to create a cadre, if you will, of informed, educated adults, because kids want to do the right thing, but they need to be equipped. And
Yes.
we can't be equipped if the parents don't equip themselves.
Yes. Yes.
That's kind of where I see the value of your school, in addition to the fact that some people might want to go on as a profession or as a mission, maybe.
Sure.
And so this school is, give us the details of the school, of when it starts and where it's located.
So if you're interested, you can go to thrivejusticeschool.com and you can register. It's all you have to do is become a partner with Thrive Rescue. If you're a partner, it's free. So become a monthly partner, $35 a month or more. You can come. It's 3 days. We have amazing speakers. I just brought up a couple others. We have Miss United States. Anyways, check it out, thrivejusticeschool.com.
Okay, we'll be right back. Thanks.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com, or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at RE/MAX Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens. And she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at RE/MAX Realty, 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton of Million Kids and Jeremy Kraus, who is the co-founder and CEO of Thrive World. I'm saying THRIVE, Thrive World, and Thrive Rescue Home. I spell everything because some of my listeners will send to me and give me a bad time claiming I have a Cajun accent. I do not have a Cajun accent, but apparently I need to spell some things, okay? Like Million Kids, MILLIONKIDS.org. Okay, Jeremy, this is our last segment. I want you to just kind of lay out for the people why they should go to this school and what they're going to get out of it.
If you've ever had a passion for kids, if you've ever had a passion to do something about human trafficking, but you weren't sure what to do, this is for you. Maybe even if you've just been curious, maybe you have children yourself and you want to figure out and learn more so that you can discuss it with your children. I have daughters. you might have daughters, even if you have sons, this is stuff that you need to learn to either educate yourself or to talk to others about or to get involved.
Also, it sounds like since it's faith-based, it might be good if you're a leader in your church or synagogue or whatever.
Absolutely. And so that's why we're doing it. We want to raise the level of awareness everywhere that we can. And we also want people in the field. We want people that are going to be hands-on. And so this is the first step into this is getting your feet wet, learning, from professionals that have experience, and then finding out what the next steps are.
Okay, so this is Equipping Modern Day Abolitionists. Give us some idea of some of the subjects that you're going to cover.
So again, we really want to cover as much as we can. Obviously, we could talk for years and years about this stuff and be taught about it too, but we cover prevention, rescue, restoration, response, and then release. And so we go somewhat into depth on each one of those subjects. And we have, like I said, we have professionals like yourself, like our friend Joe from the FBI. We have somebody that has spoken at the UN about anti-human trafficking, Nicole. She's an amazing person, and she's going to be there. So we have some really, really amazing educators that are top notch. And we just want to create an experience where we can all learn together and get motivated and then get out there and actually do something about human trafficking and stopping it.
That sounds fantastic. So it's going to start in the evening. What time on the 27th?
Friday, August 27th at 4 o'clock. The doors open. Okay. And you can go to thrivejusticeschool.com for all the information and to register.
Now, I want to be clear. Is this in person?
Yes.
It is.
This is in person. If you're somewhere that you can't get there, we will have a private Facebook group that you can watch and be a part on that as well.
Okay. And this is held at the Refuge Church?
Refuge Church in Rancho Cucamonga, yes.
Yeah, I love those folks over there. They've been great partners of me and kids for a very long time, and they do a fantastic work. That is a church on fire over there.
They
it really
are.
Is. So at the Refuge Church, it's going to be held, Rancho Cucamonga, starting the evening of August 27th, again on the 28th and 29th. So if you cannot attend during that time, I think that there's other ways that you can participate. Or if you can't attend maybe Friday night, but you can Saturday and Sunday, that's okay. You don't have to be at every session, but what you miss will be your loss. Okay. But the whole idea here, and the reason I wanted Jeremy on is that to get this kind of in-depth training, sometimes we'll have a symposium where we cover 4, 5, 6 hours of stuff, and everybody kind of goes home and says that's nice. But this is really meant to prepare leaders, to get people that are very interested in it and take it to the next level, prepare them so that they can be leaders in their church or their Soroptimist or sorority, or because many of these organizations now have human trafficking specialists, and that way you would be educated and prepared for that. Well, I feel like that this is a tremendous opportunity to do this. I would like to just kind of open it up a minute here for Jeremy. Anything you want to share to the public? The reasons why you think that this is going to be important for people, and really what you think will be the cut above for this kind of training? Absolutely.
I think what sets us apart is we are one of the only schools out there that just concentrate on anti-human trafficking. We've been doing this for about 7 years now, and what really sets us apart is the educators.
Right.
Every year, I have educators in that have hands-on experience. It's not just head knowledge. They haven't just been reading books and looking on social media. They've actually come up with the data. Right. They're counseling. They're doing therapy with people, or they have homes like myself. I started off just moving to Thailand, sold everything I had, and I've now we have several homes, and so everybody that educates has had experience. Not only that, but we will be sending out certificates to everybody that comes to all 3 days.
Good.
So they'll get a certificate of completion and that they can take with them to their sorority or to their groups and say, hey, look, I've completed this now. And so once you've gone through this, there are other opportunities. We will be having opportunities for people to go with us to Thailand on trips and to India. And each trip is different. In Thailand, we're already established. So we have homes, we have children, and there's areas that we do bar outreaches and things like that. We work with our children. But then in India, we're looking to build homes. So that will be a completely different experience.
Yes.
And then eventually, here we'd like to do some different things here in America and team up with different organizations like millionkids.org. And so again, if you're just curious, come. If you're looking to take that next step, come get involved and show up, and it's going to be a great experience.
What I like about what you're doing is it's based on facts and data, and it's very real. There's a lot of misinformation out there in the name of human trafficking in America, and a lot of melodrama and a lot of big inflated numbers and stuff like that. And I just will not, well, first of all, I report to the Department of Justice and the Riverside County Sheriff, so I better have my facts together, and I always keep backup data. But it is difficult to get the truth out there and base it on real cases and real examples. So I think that's one of the things I loved about what you put together is people that, for instance, therapists, it's one thing to talk about informed trauma care. I keep myself from that because I'm not an expert in it, but you have people who have actually worked through it and have seen it. And, all too often you think, you can just go in and take on a survivor and just love them to death. And it doesn't work that way in human trafficking. It's full of PTSD and full of trauma.
Absolutely. I mean, and just being fully revealed, there's been times just working in it where my board has said, you know what, Jeremy? You need to go see a counselor.
Yeah,
you've been out of country for too long. Yeah. You've heard all these crazy stories. You've been in the midst of it. Yeah. And so even just secondhand,
right,
it gets, and that as well. Yeah. But this is definitely something that's exciting. I enjoy every year. I enjoy just, linking arms with our students and building an army of abolitionists that are going to love people and that are going to do things correctly and get right information and go fight for the ones that don't have a voice.
Sounds good. So if you're interested in attending this, it starts August 27th at 4 o'clock, then it goes all day Saturday and Sunday. You can get more information at
thrivejusticeschool.com.
Okay, THRIVE justiceschool.com. I hope that you will sincerely consider doing that. I want to take a time to say thank you for Jeremy, and also I want to thank each and every one of our Million Kids supporters. I would encourage you to continue to look at SB 357. It is still being considered for passing. That would legalize street prostitution in the state of California, and I've spent my whole day today just looking at it. So if you want more information on that, go to millionkids.org, and you will see, or go to our YouTube channel at Million Kids and look up SB 357, and you'll get all the information. It is a hair's breadth away from passing. I've spent my whole morning working on it. It is possible that it might be put into suspension, which is even more nerve-wracking because they could pull it out at any given time, say after the recall is over. So it could happen at any time, or it could pass before we even know what happens. So please educate yourself about it. Thank you to each and every one of you at Million Kids that have sent us money, that go to millionkids.org and hit that donate button or send those checks in. I like checks. I'm old-fashioned. Tell me whatever it takes to keep this fight to make sure that we don't legalize prostitution in the state of California. Folks, put your arms around your family this week and let them know how proud you are and that you love them. See you next Saturday at 3 o'clock.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.